Just swap out a few wear parts, hook up a power source and it can restart. Scorpion looks puzzled. Where are the batteries Boss Milo wanted? Owen points toward a sealed warehouse door deep inside the hall. Bedrock soldiers step forward and pry the door open with crowbars. The warehouse stretches into darkness, lined with endless shelving. Everyone freezes in place, because every shelf is neatly stacked with brand new cartons, each stamped with the bold Thor Mark 7 logo. Just then a soldier steps forward and slices open a carton. The next second, over a dozen pristine batteries tumble out. The Bedrock soldiers erupt in excitement. Owen darts between the shelves, scanning inventory codes on a tablet at top speed. There are at least 30,000 batteries here, and the storage condition is excellent. Damage rate is under 5%. Scorpion can barely contain his joy. If they bring all this back, the canned goods Boss Milo gives as a reward will pile up into a mountain. Then Owen's voice rings out again. There is more than one production line here. There are 2 complete production lines. Scorpion lets out a thunderous laugh. He grabs the radio. Reporting to Boss Milo, East Zone Warehouse, 30,000 intact batteries found, plus 2 complete production lines. Back at the shop, I am still leaning against the cot. The radio delivers one piece of good news after another. The hive has secured all high ground. No major threats detected. North Zone dormitories fully cleared. Yet my expression does not change. I simply float a can of cola off the shelf with telekinesis and crack it open. Soon the data transfer is complete. Every battery is packed and loaded. The 4 teams regroup at the main gate. Scorpion's heart starts to churn with anxiety. He does not know if I will approve the victory feast, or worse, blame him for suggesting it. The thought sends a chill down his spine. Before long, the main force returns to the shop. An eerie quiet settles over the area. Every pair of eyes locks onto the closed roller shutter. After a moment, the shutter slowly rises. I step out, face calm, pace unhurried. My gaze lands on Scorpion. Scorpion, you mentioned a victory feast earlier, didn't you? The moment he hears this, his heart drops straight to the floor. Beads of cold sweat form across his forehead. That was me speaking out of turn, Boss Milo. But I cut him off. Good idea. I raise my hand and give one casual sweep. In an instant, a mountain of meat materializes in the center of the square. Pork, beef, chicken, duck, everything. Then mountains of vegetables and potatoes appear out of thin air, plus hundreds of cases of ice-cold beer. In a heartbeat, the entire square fills with the sound of people swallowing. My voice cuts through. What are you waiting for? Today, all the meat you can eat. The words drop, and for a split second the world goes silent. Then an earth-shaking roar of cheers rips through the sky. The soldiers cannot hold back any longer. They charge toward the mountain of meat. Moments later, Bedrock fighters set up grills and light the charcoal. Our crews start washing vegetables. Hive scouts fan out around the perimeter, standing guard for the feast. Minutes later, the rich smell of grilled meat fills the entire square. People eat barbecue, drink beer, as if the world has gone back to the way it was before everything fell apart. A nightingale stands at the edge of the crowd, watching me as I calmly take it all in. In this moment, she suddenly understands. What I offered was not an insult. It was not charity. It was a choice. Keep fighting as a lone wolf over scraps, or submit to the lion and feast at his table. I lean against the door frame, sipping my cola. Suddenly Scorpion rushes over, face flushed with emotion. He bows deeply. Boss Milo, from this day on, Bedrock will be your most loyal ally. My life is yours. I say nothing. I just crush the empty cola can in my hand, toss it into a trash bin 10 meters away, and speak calmly. Follow orders and there will be meat at every meal. Then I turn and walk back into the shadows of the shop. Those words hit like a shot of adrenaline straight to the heart of every single person there. My presence blankets the entire square. The celebration goes on. Vera, Hornet, and Professor Keen sit around a makeshift table. They know full well that from today on, the rules of the ruins have changed. A long time later, the charcoal dies down. The meat mountain has been picked clean. Then the roller shutter rises silently. I step out once more. Every pair of eyes snaps to me. I simply raise my hand and sweep. Mountains of supplies materialize across the square in an instant. Not just crates of compressed biscuits, but countless neatly stacked cases of canned luncheon meat and cartons of cigarettes. There are 2 stockpiles here. One is the agreed payment to the 4 factions. The other goes to every individual who fought today, distributed by combat merit. Come collect it yourselves. Bira handles distribution. Scorpion assists. With that, I turn and head back into the shop. Another thunderous cheer erupts across the square. Bira steps forward and begins organizing the handout by combat records. The entire process runs in perfect order. By now, everyone knows the old era is over. From this day forward, these ruins answer to one set of rules: mind. Soon the distribution wraps up. One by one, the convoys fire their engines and roll out. Before long, the square is left with nothing but a mess of gnawed bones and empty beer bottles. Nightingale and her awakened stand alone in the middle of the square. In this moment, they know with absolute certainty that I am their only option. Seeing this, I give a casual wave. Dozens of cases of noodles and canned goods appear out of thin air. This is your payment, take it and go. The moment those words land, Scar erupts. Are we rags you use and throw away? You think one meal is enough to dismiss us? The group behind him instantly stirs, but Nightingale does not move. She steps forward, lifts her head, and looks me straight in the eye. We want to stay and work for you. The tech park is empty now. It won't be long before scavengers from the ruins come sniffing around. Without guards, all that equipment and those supplies will be stripped clean within a day. The 4 factions have gone back to rest. They won't be back anytime soon. We are the only ones who can get to the park right now. The awakened behind her fall silent, exchanging glances. A faint curve appears at the corner of my mouth. In that case, you are no longer free awakened. From this moment you are my first direct action squad. Codename Nightblade. You are the captain. My voice carries an authority that allows no argument. Nightingale gives a quiet nod. I raise my hand again. The next second, a brand new diesel generator lands on the ground, with several barrels of diesel beside it. Then a compact reconnaissance drone and a control tablet appear, followed by over a dozen brand new military radios. This is your gear. Now take your payment and equipment and move out to the tech park immediately. Set up the dormitory district as a temporary base. If so much as a rat sneaks in, I want a report. Everyone stares at the gear, eyes wide. Even Nightingale cannot fully suppress a flash of excitement. She whips around to face her team and barks, "Everyone, inventory the supplies, prepare to move out." This time the response comes back in perfect unison. "Copy that, Captain." They load up the gear, climb into vehicles, and tear off toward the tech park in a cloud of dust. I pull my gaze back and slowly lower the roller shutter. Silence returns to the shop. I stare at the intricate industrial blueprints on the computer screen. Full production line schematics and manufacturing process data for the Thor Mark 7 battery. A smile creeps onto my face. The plan is clear. Return to the real world, use the gold in the vault as seed capital, and with these high-performance batteries as the foundation, build a business empire that is truly my own. News of the operation spreads across the wasteland like wildfire. More and more people flood toward the square. Before long, a dense crowd is gathered. My figure appears in the doorway, but I do not bring out any food. I speak coldly. Let me state my rules one more time. Bring me something of value and trade it for the right to survive. I appoint a man as the steward. With that, a crude but efficient trading market springs to life. Survivors line up one by one to exchange for supplies. I sit inside the shop, storing their old world scrap into the dimensional vault. Time ticks by. The dimensional shift cooldown ends. I look up toward the square. The line stretches longer and longer, snaking several hundred meters into the distance. Seeing this, I tell the steward, trading ends at 5 o'clock sharp. Not a second later, the steward jolts, then bellows at the crowd with everything he has. Boss Milo has spoken. Trading ends at 5 sharp. If you don't make it today, come back early tomorrow. I nod with satisfaction. This steward handles things well, a man with real potential. I pick up the radio and call Nightingale. Send 2 people here. After trading ends, take the steward to the tech park and set him up with a place to stay. The steward trembles all over with excitement. He immediately turns toward the shop and drops to his knees, bowing 3 times. I shift my attention back to the computer and go through the data one more time, line by line. At 5 o'clock sharp, trading ends. The 2 Nightblade members Nightingale sent have already arrived. The survivors file out. No one dares cause trouble. Soon the square falls silent again. With a single thought, the air around me begins to warp. A blurred vortex appears before my eyes. In the blink of an eye, I am back in the real world. 2 hours remain until the meeting with Sylvia's boss. I head straight to the most upscale mall downtown and walk into a top-tier men's boutique. Half an hour later, I step out in a tailored charcoal gray suit. In this moment, I am no longer the shopkeeper. I am a man of power. 7 in the evening, tranquil tea house. A white box truck is parked outside the front entrance. I step down from the driver's side. Sylvia is standing at the door to greet me personally, but I walk past her without a word, move to the rear of the truck, and pull out 2 metal crates. The corners of the crates are slightly bent from the sheer weight. Seeing this, Sylvia's pupils contract sharply. 300 kilograms of gold split between 2 crates. Each one weighs over 300 pounds. Yet, he carries one in each hand without breaking a sweat. Sylvia takes a deep breath, forces down the shock, and steps aside to lead the way. The boss is waiting. She leads me through the front gate. I sense several cold presences lurking in the shadows of the courtyard, like a nest of coiled vipers. Soon Sylvia brings me to a study deep inside the main building. A mahogany desk sits at its center, surrounded by walls of books. An elderly man sits behind the desk, absorbed in a thread-bound antique book. Sylvia bows deeply. "Mr. Tang, Mr. Milo has arrived." Mr. Tang closes the book. His gaze settles on me. I look back at him with equal calm. Then I set both crates down hard on the mahogany desk. The entire surface groans under the impact. 300 kilograms, inspect them. Mr. Tang's eyebrow twitches upward. He does not touch the crates. He simply picks up the desk phone. Soon there is a knock at the door. A middle-aged man wearing gold-rimmed glasses enters the study, carrying precision testing equipment. He lifts the lids. Gold bars sit in perfect rows inside. He begins sampling and weighing them one by one. The inspection finishes quickly. "Mr. Tang, 600 bars." Total weight,